Oh, so lately I've been watching these videos from the COP23 environmental meetings, and I wanted to make some comments on the last videos I watched. Links are to these videos down below, so if you need to stop this one, watch those to understand this video, but you don't need to. I wonder if he's alive or if he's just somebody who got thrown out because of some fight or something. They talked about methane releases and how the climate models do not include methane releases or methane feedback loops in the future. That's not even in the climate model. So what does that mean? Well, that means that the climate models are incorrect. They're not showing the true danger that's out there. And this danger is obviously getting worse and worse by the day, with every day another scientific paper coming out showing that we're in a lot of trouble and that we're not paying attention. The second thing that they talked about was what to do about immediately changing over to some kind of different fuel source that will not put CO2 in the air, causing global heating. But no matter what we do, we're still going to go up into that danger zone, even if we went to zero emissions right now. Now, as we know, we've got these low expectations in emissions reductions, like 30% in the next 15 years or some crap like that. It's always changing. That's ridiculous. We need to go to zero emissions yesterday. Every day we don't go there, we're just handing absolute devastating to our children, their children, us. As they talk about here in the COP22, if you think that you don't have to wait until 2050 before something happens, you're wrong. It's happening right now. It's getting worse and worse every day. This is November. I should be in thick clothing right now here in California. It's beautiful out. Absolutely beautiful. Partly cloudy, very humid. It's not winter or even fall yet here. The leaves haven't even started turning yet. Now I wanted to show you, this graph shows the use of fossil fuels compared to renewables to last year. It's not much different this year. As you can see, there's no way we're ever going to match fossil fuels with renewables. It just isn't going to happen. It has to be on a small group thing where you have solar panels and maybe a windmill on your building. Everything you use is very, very low wattage, and you just live on off the grid in your own group buildings. It can be in the middle of a city. It could be anywhere. You just use your own power, you make your own fruits and vegetables as much as possible in your group housing. It doesn't matter what the shape of the building is, it really doesn't. That's not what the point is here. The point is that if we're going to go to 10 billion people, we have to completely change our thought about how we're going to survive. And there's only one way, and that's through going vertical or going into space. Hopefully we won't go to other planets and pollute those. We'll just stay around this planet for quite some time and adjust ourselves to fit the way we're supposed to. So in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to have this infrastructure in place, or something like this, for humans to survive. This is what it's going to have to be, something like this. In the very near future, you're going to have to do something like this. This is all living space here. Some of it's down in the ground to utilize, and a bug on my shoulder. So they're going to have to utilize this for humans to survive, because when you get tornadoes and hurricanes and heavy rains and all this coming on a regular basis, you're going to have to go to a very strong mountain type living where everybody lives in a building that's just gigantic. That's why I said you could easily divide it up into sections, and each section takes care of their own. And who knows how many sections is. Now you're also going to have to build a protective dome over this city for when it gets really hot out, to help hold in the cool air inside the city so that humans can survive 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Humans aren't going to have any say in this. This is going to have to happen. Now, how you power this is going to have to be on the outside of the dome, I would think, through either windmills all over outside in the city area surrounding the city dome, And solar panels can be put all inside here on top of these buildings, and also could possibly, if they can make them transparent, they could put them on the outside of the dome when the dome is needed. When the dome isn't needed, this thing could collapse and go down underground and disappear, and it would only be used at the most extreme weather events: tornadoes, hurricanes, high temperatures, really bad storms. I'm afraid you have no choice. And I'm not talking about a consumption economy. I'm talking about a survival economy. Yes, you're going to have to use a lot of consumption to make this infrastructure work. You're going to have to go back into the dumps where all of our old garbage is, dig that all up and mine it for those minerals that we threw away so carelessly. So the COP22's solution to the problem is going nuclear power quickly, the way Sweden did, fast. That way you could keep up with what fossil fuels are doing. And I'm absolutely against that. These nuclear plants are an absolute devastating waste of money, putting ourselves into great danger and having to deal with radioactive waste for millions of years. Who's going to do that? Who's going to pay somebody to look after nuclear waste for millions of years? It isn't going to happen. Where's all this waste going to go? All around the nuke plants, and they'll be leaking in 50 to 100 years, and you guys will be completely against nuclear power by that time. We'll have so many leaky plants and disasters going on, and I don't know why they would think that nuclear power is the solution. It is not. Number two, the main ingredient is uranium, and that is quickly running out. You don't have enough uranium or fuels to even fuel these reactors anyway. So why even go down a road that's dead end before it even starts? Humans got to start thinking more, huh? Please, I wish they would. So I'll put the links down below, and hopefully you guys will go watch those two videos and you'll see what I mean. You know, they're convinced that the only way that you can survive is with the system we have now. And I absolutely disagree with that. I think macro living in groups is the way to do it. And you guys divide the money, you divide your money, find out how much you have, and put the proper infrastructure in place so that you guys can live off any grid or off of anybody's telling you what to do. You're your own group. You see, that's the whole thing about this. One of my commenters said it was a Zeitgeist or Geist or something. I've heard of it, but I never did follow it. Kind of ideas. Well, whoever's idea it is, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's come out with it. It's the leadership you have to be worried about. Any kind of system you set up is subject to horrible corruption. So in my ideas, I'm just wondering if we shouldn't have a machine in charge. Just a logical machine. Just a machine that does only logic for taking care of the planet and everything else on it. So that we'll get out of this illogical economic way of thinking where we go ahead and sacrifice anything and all for a few dollars. That has to change completely. That kind of thinking.
So it's very easy. In our world here to live a happy.
So it's been busy. Rain is just coming. I can feel it, I can smell it, and I've got to get out of here. I can feel it's cooling down really quickly. I think I actually hear some rain falling. So I appreciate all your comments on the last videos, your ups and your downs, and your new subscribers. YouTube, you're something else. Until next time.